One of the things we warned about back in 2016 would probably be the return of data roaming charges. Thanks to an EU regulation, companies were no longer allowed to charge these obscene costs for data roaming that we had seen previously. And the EU had got a handle on it. Why? Because the EU was a big enough organization and a big enough structurally to be able to tell these organizations, you will do this. And of course, we warned about it, and the response was from the Brexiteers, this is just more of Project Fear. These companies aren't going to upset their customers and bring back data roaming charges because all these people will do just move to another company. And then, of course, he was explained to the Brexiteers, well, what happens if all of these companies start bringing back data roaming charges? To which the response was, well, that's just Project Fear. You can see where this very much, shall we say, almost human centipede like argument goes, because it was the same for pretty much every argument back in 2016. What about this problem? Oh, that's just Project Fear. Very often that would just stop the conversation right there, or it would go through a series of, shall we say, pre-prepared statements until it got to Project Fear, and then it would just end. Because really they didn't want to have these, conversations in the open, especially back in 2016. And of course, very much all these promises have come home to roost and have not turned out to be true. One in particular, data roaming. And a lot of people are not going to be happy about their phone bills when they go abroad this summer, or if they even got a chance to, shall we say, go abroad this summer, when they, shall we say, learn about their astronomical phone bill that they might have to pay. So let's go diving into this piece about this, because, of course, always good to have a look at the promises that were made by the Brexiteers in 2016 that, of course, haven't come true. So before we do that, please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below there are links to my Patreon page and a motivation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee. You can also join the YouTube subscription called the Pony Club. And of course, there is the YouTube thank you button down below as well. So over we go to the Manchester Evening News with their story on this, with the title called Vodafone, Sky, and Three, and more respond after Martin Lewis's warning. Three, Giffgaff, Sky, and BT, and more have said that they offer customers a fair data roaming deal, despite a damning report from Martin Lewis which suggests many holidaymakers are being caught out by charges. Their response comes following the warning from Martin Lewis, the man behind the money saving expert, who said that UK travellers could be hit with the unexpected mobile roaming costs for using just a minute of data abroad. The finance journalist and his team at MSC have also issued a report to Ofcom to ask for the tighter consumer regulations when it comes to data roaming. However, Three have said that their deals are simple and clear for customers, while Giffgaff, that's it, said that their users have full control over their usage. Reports the Echo, while data roaming, which occurs when your phone disconnects from your carrier's network and hops onto another network, can carry very hefty fees. A number of operators brought back the additional fees for the UK customers when holidaying in the EU following Brexit, but were previously banned from doing so. It means that thousands of customers have to pay for the use of their phone abroad if they're with a provider that has reintroduced these charges, leaving many with higher bills and very little rights to actually contest. Because of the providers don't have to warn users of their roaming costs or even provide a monthly cap on roaming fees or even offer protections against inadvertent roaming fees, users are now being caught out unexpectedly by roaming costs. At the end of July 2022, networks of Vodafone, Three, Sky, Mobile, EE, and Voxy had all reintroduced charges for the £2 a day usage of UK allowance when travelling in the EU EAA, subject to a fair usage agreement. Yeah. Money-saving experts' new analysis has found that many of these networks are not always upfront about how they define this daily charge. The MSC report states that what constitutes that a day may seem obvious, not all networks use a very consistent definition of day in their roaming pricing. and risks huge confusion among customers, which could ultimately cost them if they are caught out. Most define a day as 24 hours from the first use, but one defines a day as usage from anything up to 11:59 UK time in that very same day. This could mean that the customer is charged a full day rate for just 5 minutes use if they were unaware of this deadline. And this is an unfair policy which could lead to a bad outcome for consumers. Martin Lewis has said that he no longer has faith in the mobile firms to self regulate and is calling on Ofcom to do more to protect consumers, which includes all providers using the same definition of day as in the 24-hour period from first use, explaining clearly how they define the term day, and to alert customers at least an hour before the end of the daily roaming period. And of course, they go on to the different responders from the different providers. But to be honest, I very much agree with Martin Lewis. I don't think these mobile companies are even going to even bother self-regulating. When remember, many of these companies back in 2016 saying, we're never going to reintroduce these charges. Don't be silly. And of course, what happened? Well, yep, Martin Lewis was right. We were right back in 2016. And well, hey, we've been right for most things since 2016. So why stop there? And of course, this continues really to create huge problems for customers getting caught out. And of course, this all comes back to Brexit because there were regulations, EU regulations specifically, from us being in the single market and customs union. And of course, since we're out of it, well, those things no longer apply to those phone companies. So of course, they're going to take everything and every single penny they can get from these roaming deals. So just yet another bonus benefit for Brexit of us having to pay for roaming charges, especially when we're in the EU or EEA area. Yeah, what a surprise. What a surprise. And to be honest, Martin Lewis, God bless him, been doing some absolutely sterling work recently, not just on the cost of living crisis, but even simple things like this as well. Him and his team of experts over there doing an absolute fantastic sterling job. So as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button on your way out. And of course, down below there are links to my Patreon page and a one-off donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.